Alexa, turn it down. Hi, I am a little late, a tad bit late doing this video of our summary of Crohn's week last week. It was been honestly a really tough week. I think just all the way around with everything going on. 2020 is literally Jumanji. So we're going to go ahead and start off with our post that we did about Crohn's disease triggers. So Crohn's disease is a part of inflammatory bowel disease. There's also colitis, which we'll probably cover in the future. But Crohn's disease, honestly, gut health in general, and this can be for even IBS. But there are different parts of our life that can really trigger having Crohn's disease. Of course, there's that genetic component, but I'm here to always remind you guys, genetics just loads the gun, but it does not pull the trigger. Your diet, lifestyle, those are the things that pull the trigger. So just because it runs in the family does not mean that you have to get it. There's also the immune system activation, which kind of pairs really well with the long-term gut imbalances, because with gut health, there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of microbes going on. There is our bacteria, there's yeast, there could be parasites, along with, I don't know, it's actually, I feel like just getting to know what's really inside of our gut. But when these imbalances go by for so long, especially if you struggle with constipation, and you always struggle with constipation, you have a high risk of microbes being out of balance. And so really not ever addressing any gut issues again before you get this diagnosis. Maybe you don't have a diagnosis of Crohn's disease, but you struggle with a lot of gut stuff. Stool testing, you need to get it figured out, get it balanced, because gut health is where everything starts. And so with imbalances in the gut, that can also stimulate our immune system to activate and to chronically be activated, and inflammation to be there. One thing to note is that the majority of our immune system is in our gut. So we have to, again, look at the gut as a priority, even before diagnosis. Environmental factors too. So how you were born into this world. C-section, did you have vaccines? I know that's a huge debate, but it's still can be an environmental trigger to others. What kind of medications have you been on long term? Not even just antibiotics, but Advil, Tylenol. Have you always taken it? Do you take it on not even a daily basis, a weekly basis? All these things matter. So these can be triggers for Crohn's. Number 2 is taming inflammation. This is a big part of what you want to do when you're working with Crohn's. There's a lot of inflammation. You can see this in your stool, in a stool test of lactoferrin or calprotectin. These are some of my favorite herbs that have been studied with Crohn's inflammation. That's your frankincense, your turmeric, your ginger, aloe vera, along with fish oil can be helpful. Dosing will always be dependent on the person. I can't really share that. It's not really going to be useful. In some studies, 2 grams of curcumin, which comes from turmeric, was really helpful. So it really just depends. It also depends on if you're on medications, if there's interactions, etc. So working with a practitioner is vital. There's another thing. Another thing wasn't on the taming inflammation, but it should be talked about, is food sensitivities. When you have food sensitivities, which is why we do our food sensitivity testing, these can produce inflammatory mediators. So it's a different thing that we can target and help hopefully reduce that inflammation load on your body. Number 3 is when we talk about nutrient deficiencies in Crohn's. Y'all, nutrient deficiencies are so common. Very normal for when you don't have an optimal gut. If you don't have an optimal gut, you may not be breaking down your foods well, so you're not going to get the nutrients. You may not be absorbing them well because your gut's out of whack. So always, 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 if you ever work with us, you'll see we'll focus in on gut health. Yes, taking a multivitamin is helpful to kind of give you that broad spectrum, but shortly after we do a little bit of gut work, I will usually recommend the micronutrient test. And that is where we really target in, because your gut is hopefully improving, you're absorbing your nutrients more and better. So at this point, when we do figure out your nutrient deficiencies, we're able to replete them with the right dose and the right amount, and we can trust that you're actually absorbing it. So sometimes throwing supplements without working on your gut, guess what? It's just going to be one other thing that you're not going to be able to absorb. Gotta do it the right way. But very common to have a range of different nutrient deficiencies, from vitamin D to vitamin C to vitamin E, your B vitamin, zinc. I mean, the whole shebang. Iron, a lot of nutrient deficiencies can happen. So make sure that you're testing them, but you gotta do gut work first. And I'm pretty sure the last post that I did, I also talked about eating slow. That's just optimal digestion. Just eat slow. No rush. I talked about Boulardii. This is a supplement, a strain. It's actually a type of non-pathogenic yeast, and it's helpful for decreasing intestinal permeability, which basically that means leaky gut. If you don't know what that means by now, you're new here. Hi, welcome. Where have you been? No. Our gut has junctions that are like gates, and then when it becomes leaky, they become open, and then things can get into your body it's not supposed to really get into. There's a lot of studies on intestinal permeability. So if you, leaky gut is like the average person term. I mean, if you're not in the healthcare field, you're probably not going to use the words intestinal permeability. Tons of studies on it though, and we're starting to really see how that correlates to a lot of different health conditions. But with obviously Crohn's, with inflammatory bowel disease, yes, intestinal permeability has been studied to, well, be there. So we want to make sure that that's something what we target, and that's what we target too with our gut protocol and stuff, to really optimize and get your gut junctions back. Bodyguards, be at the gate. Sorry, it's been a long day filming this later than I should. But anyways, if you go on our FullScript account, you can go to www.thrivalnutrition.com/FullScript. That is our natural virtual dispensary. So it's kind of like, actually, I don't even have an example because everyone has like health food stores everywhere. They're different, so there's not really a chain per se. But it's basically like a health food store on steroids online. And I have it categorized with all the supplements on our FullScript account. I recommend, we use in our practice. So if you go there, you'll see different categories. And if you go to the gut health one, that is where you'll find Boulardii. And one of our favorite ones is by Designs for Health, and it's called Floromyces. So it won't be named Boulardii, it'll be named Floromyces. So that's a great strain for if you struggle with Crohn's. And one thing that is so important with probiotics is the strains matter. A lot of probiotics don't even have that information, so you're really just shooting blind. So making sure that you're targeting any probiotic supplements is really, really vital. So there could be other additional strains as we work together that you might get benefit from. So if you're ready to work with us one-on-one, we have a team of dietitians and nutritionists that are ready to help you. You can go ahead and check out our Work With Us page, our services page. I'll link it below or above, wherever you're watching this video. Facebook, Instagram, it's all different. But make sure to request your free appointment, and that's just a 15-minute phone call with me. Yes, me. And we will just go over a quick look of your history, what we recommend that you should be doing with us, whether it's per session or with Crohn's. It will most likely be a package, because with any diagnosis, we just need time to make sure that we take care of you and do therapeutic protocols, and then eventually get to your forever lifestyle. So make sure you go request your free appointment. We'd love to talk with you and help you get back to optimal health. Alexa, turn it up.